The interesting thought about this is you already had a job. If you can't afford to do your student loans, then you're just not going to college anymore. You should technically be able to work and live somewhere. The issue that you have now is that you did stuff that you wanted to do, not because you needed money, but you were glad to get money for it and you wanted to do it. And the things that you did, you're embarrassed about. You should never do anything for money that you would be later embarrassed about. You should never do the value of integrity is only valuable if you're willing to maintain it. If you have no integrity, if you have no values, no ethics, there is no reason why money should corrupt you. Yes, with the right amount of desperation and the right amount of money offered, you can, in fact, compromise your own personal um, values. However, the fact is that before you call yourself taking the easy route and compromising your values, you should reconsider the struggle of trials and tribulations that allows you to maintain your integrity, maintain your value, maintain your ethics by doing it the hard way. You would have did better dropping out of college and getting two jobs that you respect than to do something strange for a little piece of change and now you regret. The person that you did this with was not a professional, and the actions that you did were in the adult industry, somewhere to the magnitude of OnlyFans and porno. And the fact is that you're embarrassed about it. What if your family members see it? What if, somebody that you work with sees it? You should not have done that. Now that you have done that, there's a thing called actions have consequences. Now, as pertains to actions have consequences, you are either going to allow this person to continue making money off of the videos that you make because you are volunteering for these videos. They're not holding you hostage and making you perform these videos. And as a result, you have an ethical position to say, hey, I'm not doing this anymore. Or you can keep doing it and demand a cut and be like, I'm proud of what I do to make money. Okay. Now, the other side of this, once we start talking about blackmail and we start talking about extortion, it doesn't matter if you're using the videos to corrupt you into doing more things that you should not do or whatever. Puerto Rico is a United States territory, and the United States does not tolerate blackmail and they do not tolerate extortion. So if somebody has videos of you performing actions that you're not supposed to perform, whether you volunteered for those videos or not, if that person is threatening to ruin your reputation, ruin your career, or demand some type of money from you or whatever, as it stands, you can take that communication from that person, report it to the local law enforcement, and then they can work on a sting operation and arrest that guy or girl for the threats that they made about the video content that they had and what they would do if you did not provide them with more. And that will put a stop to your situation. However, your reputation, once that goes public in the local news, will be compromised. But it would only be compromised until next week because people degrade and devalue themselves so much in the United States to the fact that the next person twerking on top of an Escalade, falling off that Escalade, getting run over by a fire engine is going to be the next big thing. So your story is not going to be in the news very long because you didn't die from it. Just saying. So don't do anything that you regret, especially not on video, and don't share videos to other people, and stop taking your clothes off in front of folks that you don't know. That's going to be another thing I got to tell you because it makes no sense that you're in that situation in the first place, being 19. It doesn't matter if you did it for college. Twerking for tuition is not supposed to be a thing. Okay. Michael says at the time she was a teenager, typical teenagers. No, you're saying at the time. This is recent, bro. This is recent, Michael. This isn't like years ago. This isn't that one time at band camp story. That post happened how many days ago? 2, 3 days ago? That post hit the email 2, 3 days ago? Yeah, that's this week. This is comments from this week, bro, since last Sunday. These are comments since last Sunday. This isn't like a archive thing from 2 years ago. This just happened. She's 19 right now, and the only thing I can tell you is quit with the bullshit, tighten the fuck up, and stop making bad choices like that. Outside of that, report them. If they're gonna, I had my homeboy. He called me up one day. He's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, somebody might send you a dick pic of mine." And I'm looking at him like, "Well, first of all, what?" I don't care what they send me, but the thing about it is that what the problem I have with that is if they sent it from the email, that means they hacked into your email. If they send it from your cell phone, that means they hacked your cell phone. If they send it to my phone number, that means you made sure that they got my phone number. And they should not have my phone number because nobody has my phone number. And I'm not saying that metaphorically. I mean, literally, nobody has my phone number. I change it so often that I have to contact you for you to know what my number is in order for you to contact me back. Nobody has my phone number. So the only two people on the face of this earth, three people on the face of this earth that knows what my phone number is me, my homeboy, and my real estate agent. So nobody should be sending me a dick pic because my real estate agent is a female. But he's explaining to me the same situation, that he was talking to some chick online, or at least he thought it was a chick, and she catfished him. And then some kind of way she started threatening him to send dick pics of him to all of the people in his contact list. But this happened on Facebook Messenger, and I'm sitting over here laughing like, well, why are you even talking to him on Facebook Messenger in the first place? You should have been trying to bring them to in-person communication and try to start conversations from there. But he's one of those people that has no problem with having a long-standing romance relationship with a photograph on a profile instead of coming out the old school and I'm gonna develop this in person kind of thing. At least video calls back and forth so that I see who I'm talking to. So he's one of those young bucks. He's like 32 right now. He's a young buck, and he's in that position right now where he's not really thinking like me and Michael would be thinking. Like, nah, fuck that. I don't care what you tell me your name is. I want you to get on this video call and show me your ID so that I can read it. Now, a lot of ladies are gonna say, "Shit, that's doing a lot." But fuck, you would do that to a man if he was talking to you. You'd be like, send me a photo and with you holding up your ID, so if something happened to me, I know who did it. You know what I mean? So flip the script. I told y'all, man, of uniformity, when stuff like this goes down, you know, I'm thinking the way everybody should be thinking. Like, I got to keep myself safe before I start trying to entertain myself with a stranger. Now, Michael says, don't worry about it. People will forget it. Of course. And if everybody in your contact list like the video and compliment you for it, you got a side job. That's the other thing. He's in the phone company. Oh yeah, you can get the phone company involved because if this person is communicating with you, you have a call log. So, but she said something about Telegram. So, but you still have a call log. 305-786-645. 813 is also a code for Florida too. So, I mean, you can find out where they at. You can find out where they at. You can go get them. You can go get them. Yeah. All right, let's check on the next one.
I'm struggling to be physically attracted to my girlfriend. I am 23 and she is 22. How can I fix this? This is pretty much as the title suggests. There's not much to it. I'm struggling to be physically attracted to my girlfriend, and that's the extent of it. Who she is, her character, personality, beliefs, everything outside of physical looks. They're all great. She's an incredible person. We get along great, and I love getting to spend time with her. But I struggle to be attracted to her. She's by no means ugly. Many of my friends and family have told me she's the prettiest girl I've dated, and I believe them and agree with them. Objectively, she is beautiful. But I guess subjectively, she's just not my type. To clarify, it's hard to pinpoint what I'm unattracted to because it changes. Some days, I'm very attracted. Other days I struggle with it. The most common thing, though, is I guess just how she dresses. It's almost like she just doesn't try to present herself very often. Now, I'm no Adonis either. There's days I wake up and I don't try and present myself either. But with her, it seems more often than not. I feel like such a shallow POS for being like this. I wish I didn't care about the looks and could be physically attracted to her with or without them. But I'm just struggling to get to that point. What can I do to encourage this change? Or can it even be fixed? I have no desire to break up with her. She's a once-in-a-lifetime individual, and I'd be a fool to let her slip through my fingers. But I feel like she can tell I'm struggling with this. It came up in conversation a while ago, and I was honest with her about where I was at. She's a brilliant girl, incredibly intuitive. I know she can pick up on the small details and behaviors that I have that point to my feelings. If I don't change, fix this, or something, she will leave. Is there anything I can do?
Well, he don't want to let her go, Michael. I mean, I understand that's the easiest thing to do. Quitting in a relationship is the easiest thing to do when relationships get hard. But you have to understand that men and women both can fall out of a love with one another and lose attraction with one another over time in a relationship. And it does not happen at the same phases during the relationship. Um, he said, "P.S. Seek professional help." That's good advice. Uh, there is an emotional issue there that needs to be addressed. But what I think he's using the word attraction for the fact that his mojo's not functioning the way it needs to function, and that's going to require professional help. He could be dealing with a chemical imbalance that is interfering with his ability to be intimate and express those intimate emotions. Uh, and there's a lot of stuff on the market, but it has to be prescribed by a psychiatrist that would fix that problem. Uh, uh, but the what do you say? There's no indication of his mojo not working. That's what it sounded like to me. Low testosterone, depression. Um, unless she's a smoking hot supermodel and he's into busted chicks. I don't know. Uh, the fact that I'm thinking right now is, you know, if there's nothing wrong with her visibly, if he was looking for like provocatively dressed and she's not that, he's looking for like a more exposed kind of, because a lot of times when girls are single, the ones that have some kind of self-respect for them, when they're single, they will wear very, very gaudy and very, very scantily clad outfits while they're single. And then when they get with a man, you see them in like sweats and a tee. You see them like with like a Rocky Balboa, like full on sweats from top to bottom every day of the week kind of thing. They stop deliberately overly sexualizing themselves because they are now taken off the market. And the men got with that woman because of how sexy she made herself look. But now that she's in a relationship, she does not feel like she has to be that sexy because she's with the man that she wants. So she's not advertising anymore. Some men want her to keep advertising, which makes no sense. So see, I got my iPad right here. A little psychotropic meds. Yes, exactly. That's what we're talking about. A few psychotropic meds. The um the dynamic there is going to be the same. She's not really um she's not the problem. He is. But if he gets through whatever his issue is, I mean, truth, while he's struggling with it, because if it's clinical depression is something that's never going to go away, and he's just not going to be in the mood. And as long as he does not wander off and do anything with anybody else, he's being vocal with her. She can be patient. He can put forth the effort to express intimacy with her where she's satisfied, even though he's got nothing going on. But the fact is that he will forever not have uh, what he's looking for until he fixes his underlying problem. I think that's the hardest part. So if you do nothing, yeah, the girl will leave. But if you're proactively doing something, you are. And here's the thing: even though you're not in the mood, if you're not rejecting her affection, even if you have no affection to express, you're at least not making her feel worse about the fact that she knows that you have those days where you just don't feel attracted to her. You know what I'm saying? So if she comes up and she's kissing you and stuff like this, and you're pulling away and stuff, that hurts more than you not initiating. So if she initiates and you allow it until you feel like doing it, then that's fine. As long as you're not gratifying yourself somewhere else, where when you did have the mood, it wasn't with her. That'll be another issue. If you did that, that's just gonna like kind of ruin it all. So you could try a large level of abstinence, because check your testosterone levels, because low testosterone levels could lead to these issues. And if any event that you ever have that moment where what he said, yeah, exactly, you meet that time of the month. But for him, it's like all the time. It's like all the time for him. So yeah, if that's the thing, then you need to just kind of like find some other ways. Now there are some people who like to get in there and try to do something weird, and it is what it is. Y'all can try some kinky things. You might actually find out that you're not into her because you're not into girls. You never know. But until you get to your underlying issue, bro, it's not going to resolve itself. But it's good that you're communicating with your girlfriend early on. And if she's the kind of woman that's going to stick it out with you until you figure it out, she's worth staying with. So you need to figure it out for her sake, because she could have left your ass as soon as you said you wasn't attracted to her. She could have just said, fuck this shit, I'm out. So the fact that she's hanging in there, bro, those are the keepers that we all search for and never find. All right, let's take a look at the next comment.
At 28, I am seriously considering divorcing my husband, host 32, because of how he treated my dog and what comes after it. Background on my story. My husband is never mean to my dog, but he's very much not a pet person. I knew about that going into the marriage. I was fine with him not interacting with my dog or helping me with dog duties. I accepted that. His only duty is to open the yard door to let my dog out to pee when I work 10-hour shifts. Even with this simple task, he complains that this is a lot of work for him and makes him stressed out. His reasoning is that having to let the dog out means that he has to constantly keep this at the back of his head, and it's one extra thing that he has to do on top of his busy work, which stresses him out. Anyway, he still did let him out to pee most of the time, and I kind of just accepted that. Recently, I had to travel out of country because my mom needed surgery. I was gone for a total of 3 weeks. The first week, I asked my friend to take care of my dog, but they were busy for the last 2 weeks, so I asked my husband to take care of him. He did not complain and said okay, which I appreciate. I got back from my trip and found that my 17 pounds dog has lost 5 pounds under his care. That's 1/3 of his weight. My poor puppy is depressed that I am gone, and God knows whether he's being fed twice a day per my instructions. My dog always loses weight when I'm gone due to stress, but losing 1/3 of your body weight in 13 days? So obviously I was very unhappy about that. I was debating about whether I should have an argument with him because technically he did do me a favor by taking care of my dog. But
I'm sorry, I gotta stop. This bitch. Help me, Michael, help me. This bitch just came out of nowhere and said she gonna divorce her husband because her raggedy ass. It would have been. I was waiting on her to say that he beat the shit out the dog, he kicked the dog down the stairs, he punched the dog in the face. Oh yeah, divorce him, call the police, put him in jail, something. But you're telling me that it's a 17-pound dog, bitch? That's a carry-on. What the fuck you mean? It don't matter what country you was going to. Put that little bitch in a little bitty carrier case and put that motherfucker on a plane and take that bitch with you. What the fuck is you doing leaving your little puppy dog in the look, here go mine right here. What you got the little puppy dog in the with him talk about something, it lost 5 pounds. If he forgot to feed it, look, he knocking over the camera and shit. If he forgot to feed the dog because he don't do nothing for the dog, how you gonna get mad at him when you left your pride and joy at the damn house? What is wrong with you, woman? Then she gonna sit over here and contemplate, should I start an argument with him? No. You should apologize to him for making it his responsibility to watch your fucking animal. If I go somewhere, I got other people in my house that could have watched my dog. And when I leave, I take my dogs with me. We get on the plane together if I gotta buy an extra plane ticket. It is not somebody else's responsibility to watch your shit. Now, if I got too many dogs and I gotta leave one behind, and that son bitch lose some weight while I'm gone, then I'm gonna feed his ass extra when he come back, because as long as he's still alive, there's still hope. Now, you don't want him to lose weight, and you telling me that this happens on a regular basis, that your little dog lose weight when y'all don't travel together. Why the fuck are you not traveling with your little dog? There's shit that you could do. Because outside of a carry-on up underneath the damn plane, she first time she went on vacation and the dog lost weight. So that happened before. And now she's going out of the country for a few weeks to go look at a family member that's in the hospital. So because she's going for 3 weeks to go check on a family member in the hospital in another country, she's gonna leave her dog behind because it's easier for her to fly without her dog. But if she's gonna abandon her responsibilities, then it ain't that damn important if the son bitch ain't got no weight on it when she get back. Feed that motherfucker. She should have overfed him while she was gone, so that the 17-pound dog would have been 21 pounds, so that by the time the dog she got back, the dog would have been 16 pounds and she would have been just fine. But she tripping. We're gonna get back to her because she got a lot more shit to say. He said, what type of dog is it? I don't know. It's 17 pounds. It's not a greyhound, bro. Greyhounds are not 17 pounds. Greyhounds are like 35 to 45 pounds. 17-pound dog would be like a chihuahua, a wiener dog. A 17-pound dog is the size of a cat. It's like a shih tzu or something like that. You know, like a mini terrier or something like that, like a pocket poodle, something like that. It's a really little annoying ass dog to some people. I love them, but the fact is that if it all it's got is 17 pounds, the bitch ain't that big. She could have carried it with her. She could have had 2 carry-ons, the dog and her suitcase. She could have brought 1 week's worth of clothes and just went to a damn laundromat. She tripping. But let me go ahead and finish what the hell she had to say, because she's being ridiculous.
He also did a really poor job. It also feels like this is weaponized incompetence, which isn't. He's still a person of good nature. He would never purposely hurt my dog.
So then how the fuck is it weaponized of incompetence if he would never purposely hurt your dog? He told you that he don't think about that damn dog on a regular basis, and it get on his damn nerves that he got to remember to let the dog out when your ass is at work and you don't have your dog trained. What? First of all, it is a 17-pound dog. Why don't you have a 25-pound dog doggy door on your house so the motherfucker can take itself outside? Because I can just leave the door open and let the bitch go outside, and he'll go wander and come back and do his thing. I ain't even got to look for him. He be all up in my face. I'm surprised he ain't climbed up on the chair because I'm talking about it. Been sitting up here like a damn cat, staring at y'all on podcast, because I trained him to be self-sufficient. The only thing I got to do is make sure that there's some damn food out there. And if you know that you're going to be gone for 3 weeks, you should have got one of them food dispenser things that will, every time the dog touched the button, the food come out. He likely came back, the bastard would have been fat because the food dispenser, it would have kept pushing the button until there was nothing left in there. But you tripping. He said 5 pounds is, well, that depends, because if 17 pounds was the weight the dog was supposed to be, then 5 pounds is not that good. But if it was supposed to be a 10-pound dog and the fucker was 17 pounds, she had that bastard fat, like one of them little pug things. And then it lost it lost weight. And then it would look, now we're talking. Dog boarding service. She could have avoided all of this shit if she paid somebody to feed her damn dog. They got that app, Rover with dog sitting service, she could put the dog with somebody else for 3 weeks so that her husband would not have to watch that motherfucker, and then she would not have this problem. Y'all females need to start thinking about how y'all don't start shit in your marriage.
I just can't get over the fact that he's casually making jokes that, oh, well, he's skinny now, at least he's easier to carry. Again, I am
Exactly.
okay with him not caring about my dog. I know I shouldn't. As long as he doesn't hurt him, I was already okay with that. All I wanted to do
Hold on.
was
I'm going to laugh at that, and I think that that's a damn good idea, because you telling me, look, Zoomies pet service, there go another place. Do you know how hard it is for anybody to carry a 20-pound dog like this in and out of the house? That's a big ass bag of sugar, bro. We don't like carrying that fucking 2-pound bag of rice up the stairs and shit. You got the little bitty 4-legged son bitch that, if we let it go somewhere, a freaking flower might kill it. We gotta, we can't just let the dog out and just let it out. We gotta stand out there and watch it. And why do we have to stand out there and watch this little ass dog? Because a hawk might fly overhead and swoop the little fucker up and fly off with it. And then you're gonna blame the man for it because he should have been watching the dog. So now we gotta stand over the dog. Instead of the man's best friend protecting the man, we gotta protect the woman's best friend, because I ain't her friend, because she got me over here guarding a little bitty wiener dog where the little fucker could have got his ass whooped by a possum in the backyard. Over here having boxing matches with squirrels and losing. I mean, come on, bro. Come on, bro. And God forbid a cat could get into the fold and scratch the dog's eyes out, and then we ain't got no. Now the dog is blind and you hate me for it. Now she should have took her damn dog with her, bro. She over here being a bitch.
to have a conversation with him, telling him that he did not do a very good job taking care of my dog and that he should know better. He then started complaining about how taking care of a dog is extremely stressful for him, that he has to constantly think about whether the dog ate or peed for the whole day, and it's stressing him out.
He said that before your ass left town.
I said that I already gave you the bare minimum instructions. All you have to do is feed twice a day. Make sure water bowl is empty, and let him out for bathroom every few hours. He said these tasks are incredibly stressful. Why can't you understand? It's so much work that it's like a second part-time job. I have to constantly think about him all day. Did he pee? Did I feed him? That's
Okay, so why don't you take your fucking dog to work with you then? Because you talk about some every few hours. Do you realize that every few hours is every 3 to 4 hours, 3 times a day? My dogs can wait 15 hours. You talking about 3 to 4. When he was a puppy, I had to do it every 2 to 3 hours. He's 4 years old right now. No, he can wait till in the morning. Look at what time we're doing a podcast right now. He can wait till like 10 o'clock in the morning. He can wait until I get back up. And if he can't wait, he gonna be hitting me in the face, waking me up so that I can take him somewhere. But he gonna hold it till we get outside. You talk about some every few hours. So if he don't take the dog out every few hours, the dog gonna pee in the house. She ain't appreciating her man right now. I love pets, but she get on my fucking nerves just listening to this damn story. I got multiple dogs up in here. She telling me her irresponsible ass is blaming her man because she got a life that she lived without her damn dog, and she want him to babysit the damn dog. That ain't even his fucking dog. Now, if this was a child, oh no, you can't treat my child like, come on, man.
incredibly stressful. Obviously, anyone would not agree that these simple tasks are stressful, so I disagreed. He then started yelling at me, saying that
I agree with him because I got a dog and that is fucking stressful. I had to take him out before the podcast. That's sometimes the reason why I be late, because I still be outside trying to get up the damn stairs with him. They be after the podcast, I got to take him out again. Then I got clients I got to deal with. Then after I finish with them clients, before I go to bed, I got to take him out again. Then in the morning, I got to take him out again. But you know what? If I forget to take him out from now until in the morning, he will wait until I take him out in the morning. And if he uses the bathroom in the house, I got to clean that up because that's what I got to do. That's my dog. So for her to sit over here and say, oh, somebody going to say that that's not stressful. No, it's stressful. It's stressful as fuck. It's stressful when you take your dog out in the rain if you live in a climate where it's snow, it's cold outside, you ain't feel like you got to get dressed. You was ready for bed. Now you got to put all your clothes on to go outside so that you can take this dog outside. And you can't, depending on the size of the dog, you can't just go out there for like 5 minutes and just watch him pee up against a tree somewhere. You got to take him for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You got to be walking him around the neighborhood, make sure he get that exercise in so that he don't use the bathroom in the house after he done gone outside to use the bathroom. No, it's a damn chore. It's a chore. I don't know what she's talking about. She over here being mean to her husband. He need to divorce her because
But I
she
don't
ain't acting
appreciate
right.
anything that he does, that I'm not being understanding about how stressful it is for him to take care of my dog for 2 weeks, that he's under so much stress for the past 2 weeks, and I'm still complaining. The argument ended with him saying that he doesn't want to deal with this and told me to fuck off, yelling.
Thank you. Because when did she try to figure out what the hell is stressing out her husband? She married her husband, not the damn dog. So when is she going to try to figure out what he's so stressed out about so that she can help him alleviate his stress? Because she put her responsibilities on him, and he already telling her since the beginning of this story that she started telling that he was stressed out. Well, so when is she going to help him not be stressed out so that he can then say, oh, let me go ahead and do something for you for the dog? And Michael, you're right. These little dogs, they are your children. And you're supposed to be able to be a nuclear family where the woman is taking care of the husband the way the husband is expected to take care of the woman. Tighten up, uniformity.
TLDR. Husband thinks taking care of my dog for 2 weeks is super stressful, and I am not being appreciative and understanding that this is a stressful task. Therefore, I should not be complaining that under his care, my dog lost a third of his body weight in 2 weeks. He then yelled at me for not being understanding, even though I was the one that is supposed to be mad. I was calm the whole time when I started the talk.
Yes.
I still want to try to fix this somehow, but I don't even know how to fight back to his arguments. Can anyone help?
Don't.
Edit to add,
Yes.
I'm not putting blame completely on him for my dog losing weight, because stress is also a big factor. I'm just pissed that he yelled at me simply because I pointed out that he did a poor job taking care of him. All I wanted was for him to learn that he should be more careful and ask me questions if he's not sure about dog care. It's the yelling that makes me consider divorce, not the dog care.
No.
So I think this might still be fixable, but I'm not even sure how to go about it. That's why I'm looking for advice. Another edit to add, he fed my dog for sure, because the food bag did get less full. I had a full bag before I left, and it was definitely used. Now, I believe he did sometimes forget to feed him twice a day, but I don't know how often. Not saying this is acceptable, but for people that think my dog was not fed at all, that's not the case. But he didn't neglect my dog, and I just wanted to bring that point across to him that this is not acceptable. You don't have to like him to feed him twice a day.
Fuck that dog. Okay, so I'm gonna come off the top right there because again, I love animals. I got one right over here. But what I'm trying to say is this: you need to apologize to him for the way you treat him because that's your fucking animal. You could have took him with you. And the next thing is that he's stressed out, and it is not just his fault. It is your fault. You're gonna not take responsibility at all. You're gonna say, "Oh, well, it's his fault," and then it's partially his stress's fault. No, it is your fault because he told you before you left town that he was stressed out. Him watching your dog was a burden on him with all of the stuff that he was worried about. You didn't give a shit about what he was worried about. So this huge problem started because you said, "Fuck him and his problems. He gonna look after your damn dog." No. Now, you notice he fed the dog. So if he did not feed the dog enough, what if he fed the dog twice a day but didn't put enough food down? The dog lost the 5 pounds. Now, you mad he did everything he was supposed to do, but he did not do it the way you would have done it. And then you complaining. Now, if he would have been like me, I would have put down big ass, gigantic. You said the dog was 17 pounds, right? Motherfucker should be about this big. That would be the size of the bowl of food I'd be putting down on the ground. And I would just keep food down there all damn day and all damn night until you get back. Big ass mountain of food spilling over outside of the food dish. That bastard would have been fat as hell, but I would not have been feeding it twice a day. I would have overfed it once a day and said, fuck it. When I went in there and seen that there was no food down, put another mountain of food down. Because that ain't my damn dog. It'll eat until it stops eating. But the fact is, You got to respect the man for trying. Exactly. Both of them are at fault. His expectations to be respected were not there, and her expectations to take care of a dog that he don't tolerate that much was incorrectly placed. So she says the marriage is fixable. It is fixable, but you have to respect your husband by apologizing to him for how you've been mistreating him. Take responsibility for your own damn dog and take your dog with you. Don't keep trying to force him to do shit for you. You need to trade off something else. Trade off something else. Have him manage your schedule or some shit. Have him I don't know, wash your car or take your car out to the service or fix a TV or clean out the gutters or something like that. Have him permanent pressure unmentionables or something, but don't put the dog on him as a responsibility. If you recognize that your husband, your friend, your best friend, your child cannot take as good of care of your animal as you can, then that is no longer their responsibility. Period. I don't let you watch over my Madden because I know you're not gonna keep my scores up. You're not gonna have a dog because I know you're not gonna take good care of it. That's it. That's it. If I'm gone for a day or 2 days, yeah, you just don't let it die over the next 2 days. You're good. I'm gonna feed it before I leave so that I know that he's gonna be all right. And then if you feed him one more time before I get back, he'll be alive till I get back, and I can fix it. But if I'm gone for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, nah, fuck that. My dog ain't staying at home. So that's how you fix that shit.
I kind of want to break up with boyfriend. I'm emotionally drained. I like peace. He doesn't. So, my boyfriend and I have been together for 11 months. He's not from the US and has only been here for 6 years. Everything was going good. Then it started. 2 months in, and he started talking about us getting married and having kids. He was previously married, and when they divorced, he said that he was mad at women for years until he met me. He said I was the second woman he's ever been sexually involved with. Of course, his wife was the first. He said he's never really been anywhere. He stays inside all the time. He said he and his ex-wife rarely went anywhere. He always talks about how he has no friends. He said he's never celebrated any holidays, which is fine. I was the first person he celebrated Valentine's Day with. However, he didn't do anything for my birthday, but asked me what I was doing for his birthday, which is weird. He mentioned he's never had anyone do anything for him for it. He always on social media and follows a lot of women, and when I mentioned it, he said it's because they followed him first. The worst thing is that he gets mad at me for every little thing. He said that his ex-wife used to go through his phone and always accuse him of cheating. Every time someone calls me, he thinks it's another man. When he calls me, he tells me it's too silent in the background and that I must be telling someone to be quiet. He hates when I express my feelings. He often tells me to shut up or be quiet. Then when I am quiet, he says that I'm acting weird. I try to take him different places and thought we were having fun, but he recently revealed that he's never liked anywhere we've went. But he never gives any input on what to do or where to go, and he blames it on not being from here. When we watch movies, he makes me choose. He snaps me up when I ask him to choose the movie, and when I choose he complains, but tells me to keep the movie on. It doesn't make sense. One time I wasn't feeling well when he called, and he laughed at me after I told him. I asked what was funny, and he was like, "You're always sick. What am I supposed to do? Cry?" And I was like, "I'm gonna lay down," and before I could say anything else he hung up in my face. I'm not always sick, BTW. I have migraines sometimes. He's very disrespectful and rude, yet accuses me to be that. I try to my best to be kind, considerate, and I like to keep the peace. I often let things slide, so I don't understand what's rude about that. He's cussed me out multiple times for no reason. The first time was because I made a joke about him going to his favorite store. He got mad because he thought I meant that he was going there to see one of the cashiers who happens to be his type. He usually pays for everything. He gets mad when I offer to pay for things. We went to a restaurant. When it was time to leave, I was about to pay, and he pulled out the money to pay. Then, when we got back to his place, he shouted at me and said I never want to pay for anything, and that blew my mind. He gets mad when I tell him I already ate before I came over. He gets mad when I tell him thank you for things. He snatches trash from me when I try to throw it away. It's all weird. I'm not sure why I'm so tolerant with him. Things will be going smooth for weeks, then he'll start an argument about something so random. He said he and his ex-wife argued all the time. Maybe that's what he's used to. Now, he is very affectionate and compliments me often. He does buy me things that he thinks I'll like, and I appreciate that because in my last relationship the guy wasn't like that. When I buy him things, he pays me back even though I tell him he doesn't have to. He said his ex-wife used to pay for things for him and then throw it in his face, so I guess he thinks I'll do him the same way. I'm not like that. I do things from my heart. He goes along with most things I say, and he never puts in any input, but it can get annoying at times considering that he starts complaining about my choices. I've taught him a lot of things. I've taught him about simple things like using dish detergent, using bleach, or show him simple foods like chips. He said he's only ate plain chips until he met me. I got him to try different restaurants and stores. I wonder where did he ever go with his ex-wife? He didn't seem to know about much or about many places before we met. I taught him how we do certain things here in the US. Reminder, he's already been here for 6 years. He's very intelligent, though. Knows a lot about history. He's stuck on how they do things back where he's from. He said I'm not doing him any favors, which I'm not trying to, and him saying that is hurtful, because I've done nothing but simply try to enjoy life with him and help him when he needs it. During one of our arguments, he told me that he didn't love me anymore, and honestly, I haven't let it go. He said he only said it because he was angry at the moment. He took a picture of me, and I told him to delete it because I didn't like it, and he got super upset and told me to delete every picture I ever had of us. He ultimately wants to go back to his home country, wants us to get married and have children. He said that he was only staying here for me. He wanted to leave after his divorce, but someone convinced him to stay. He said the fact that I stay with him despite the arguments is because I love him. Sometimes I don't hear from him for days, and he'll reveal to me that he was mad at me, but doesn't have a reason why when I ask. I can't talk to him because he will just
Oh, I
say
love
I'm
this.
talking
This is so
too
funny.
much. I love him, but I'm emotionally exhausted. I don't want to end things, but I don't feel like the relationship is going anywhere. I'm not sure why I'm holding on.
Jesus. All right. So, real quick, before I get started on this, girl, you asked me, is this dog mixed? This is a Staffordshire Terrier. Um, and like I said, I got a dog. So when I was going in on the other girl, I had every reason to because I got a dog and I take my dog everywhere I go. But here's the thing. This chick here, before we go in on it, welcome to being a man. This is how we feel about women on a regular basis. But the other half is this man is basically rebounding you out of his last relationship, which is a trauma relationship. You coming out of trauma relationship, and your trauma relationship has triggers for you. His trauma relationship has triggers for him. He's been in America for 6 years, so he would have been in America with her for at least 2 years in order for him to get his citizenship. So at this point, and if he doesn't have his citizenship, if he's still on a marriage visa kind of thing, and he's got extended stay, and he's trying to get married before he has to get the fuck out of the country, then he's gonna want you to marry him because if he don't marry you, then he's got to leave America. So he's got mixed feelings because the way his culture treats women and the way Americans treat women is two different things. Women in America prefer men to be submissive to the woman's authority while still being masculine at the same time, which is fucking impossible. The man is either going to have a submissive personality or a masculine personality. If he has a masculine personality, she's going to get offended when he puts his foot down, just like when her husband or her boyfriend tells her to sit down and shut up. But in other patriarchal cultures, the men tell the women to sit down and shut up, and they sit down and shut up. Not saying if that's the way to go, that's just the way it is. So you understand this man comes from a different culture. Now, at the same time, he doesn't know what's good in America. He only knows what his last wife told him is good in America. And if he don't like it, he don't like it, but he'll still eat it. He might not like this movie, but the movie is stupid, but he'll still watch it because you picked it. So at the end of the day, he's telling you what he likes and doesn't like. He tell you what he thinks, but he's still going to do whatever it is that you want to do because he does not have an opinion of what he wants to do because, as he told you, he stays to himself. He doesn't go anywhere and he doesn't do anything. So he does not have an opinion formulated because he has not experienced America to develop that opinion. Now, you ask me, what's the story about the dog? Well, the dog is a dog. Dog's been around for years, 4 years. And I take the dog with me everywhere. So he's spoiled like a cat. Him and the other little dog, which isn't apparently climbing onto the show right now, he thinks that they're both the same size, and they're not. So since the other dog jumps up here like a cat, he jumps up here like a cat. He thinks that he thinks that he's a 17-pound dog. He's not. He's about 55. He's huge. But I would not put it onto somebody else to put a bunch of effort into caring for my dog. I just take my dog with me. Like I told you before, there isn't really a big story behind this dog. I helped a friend get rid of a bunch of dogs, and I kept 2. I gave one to a friend of mine's kid for their birthday because they wanted a dog, and I kept this one, and this one was the better one between the 2. So now I've got an extra dog in the house, and then I'm going to have to get another dog so that there is a pack of dogs. Because you got to have more than 2 in case the old one dies. That way you still got 2 left. That's how it works. If you alternate them, where the puppy is with like an 8-year-old dog, by the time the 8-year-old dog dies at 12, the puppy will be 4 or 5, and you're good to go. You can offset. You don't have to deal with the extreme levels of emotional detachment with one dog because you still got other dogs to confide in. 2 dogs, a Chihuahua and a Pit Bull makes the best dogs in the world. Exactly. So this Staffordshire Terrier is not a Pit Bull mix. A Pit Bull mix is when you take a Staffordshire Terrier and a Bulldog and you mix them together to make a Pit Bull. So you take like an English Bulldog and a Staffordshire Terrier and breed them together to make a Pit Bull. And then you breed them with some other dogs in order to get that spotted look, the checkered colored spot look. But I don't remember which dog has the spots on it. I remember a calico cat having no spots in it. But pit bulls are genetically modified animals. They're not naturally born in society in nature. So, but dogs were man-made way back when, before they were domesticated, because historically they started from wolves. But having a dog, a medium-sized dog, is good to have because they're still cute and everybody wants to pet them. But my goal, next dog, is big dog. Now, if I had a big dog, when I say big dog, we're thinking like Beethoven, Clifford, something like that. That dog, you wouldn't even be able to see me because that son of a bitch would have been able to come up here and take over the whole chair and knock over the TV and everything like that, and we would not have even had a podcast anymore. This is a medium-sized dog. And yes, he is excessively spoiled. And nothing changes about that. Works really well. He loves children, chick magnet, but the girls only come to talk to the dog. They don't come to talk to me. So again, me and the dog, we walk off. It was like, yep, let's go. Because if you was interested in me, you would not have came to come pet my dog. You would have come to pet me. So priorities. All right, chill out because I gotta finish the show. We gotta finish the show. All right, I think we got a couple more. Let's go. Well, at least one more.
What I do, I do. Genuinely, what am I supposed to do when the popular kids come up to me and pretend like we're best friends? As a joke, it hurts my soul, and it's so fucking annoying.
Oh, yeah, that's the last one. You said Dalmatian? Yes, Dalmatian. Well, but Dalmatians are white with black spots or black with white spots. I was thinking about the dogs that have like orange, green, and other such like calico colors that the pit bulls have, because I can understand a brown pit bull with black spots because it's mixed with the Dalmatian. I just didn't understand where they got like the um camouflage color. Where how did they get pit bulls to look like camouflage colors? Because there are no green dogs that I'm aware of. There are no green dogs, you know. So I was just trying to figure that part out. But Dalmatian would probably be one of the breeds that they mixed it with. Now, as for this little girl, so you're at school, you got folks at your school pretending like they're your friend in front of other people and then like mocking you for it, right? Well, secretly they want to be your friend, but they don't want other people to shun them for being your friend. So they're going to pretend like they're pretending to be your friend so that they can be your friend on the side and still maintain their social circle. Don't worry about it, let it go. I was always one of the most popular kids on the campus because I didn't give a shit about anybody and what they thought. I hung out with everybody from the nerds to the jocks. And, you know, because I could care less, I wasn't in any one group long enough to be accepted or rejected by that group because I had so many different groups that I affiliated with in the 1 hour time that we were associating with one another on campus. I was still technically a loner, but I was aware of multiple different packs at the same time. But a little bit of what they did I didn't like, and a little bit of what they did I don't like. Yeah, the tricolor. And that is just, you know, the best way to operate. Now, as they're being nice, you accept their generosity. Well, not their generosity, you accept their cordialness minimalistically. But then you also want to make sure that you don't play into invitations. If they invite you to a party, tell them that you've got plans. Tell them that you've got responsibilities, chores. You've got to go help the parents with something. You got to go look after a sick grandma, babysit a nephew, something like that. Tell them you got a side job that prevents you from going, or you know, something like that. You can't just leave it with, oh, I got to study, because what kid actually studies for school? So you can't use that as an excuse. You have a responsibility that an adult is going to hold you to, so you can't go to their event. And do not ever let yourself be alone with people who usually pick on you, because that will lead you to being in a situation where they outnumber you, and that turns into hazing situations. So if they're talking to you respectfully, you talk to them respectfully, but before they can turn it into mocking, you respectfully remove yourself from the conversation. That's the best way to go. So if they're, hey friend, how you doing? Oh, hi friend. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't stay, I've got to go to class. And then just walk away and go to class. Likewise, you know, oh, how was your weekend? Hi friend, whatever. And you're like, oh yeah, you know, we did good, blah blah blah. Oh, I gotta go talk to so and so, and then just remove yourself from the situation. So accepting that cordialness, but dismissing it quick enough where they can't turn it into hazing. Oh, you thought I was going to be your friend? Nah, I could give two shits. I got some place to be, and just like roll out. Because no matter how much it hurts you that they're pretending, it does not matter. You know what I mean? If they were going to be your friend, they were, and if they weren't, they're not. You know? He said, you got a bird dog. I probably would, but I don't let them chase birds. I don't let them chase a leaf down the street. I don't let them. He look at a squirrel, and I look at him like, you bet not. He ain't chasing squirrels or nothing. Better behaved than most people's children and every man's ex-wife. I can tell you that. Make sure you like and subscribe. I know some women are like, I know he didn't. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Because unlike a woman, this dog will follow instructions and not complain about it. So tell me I'm wrong, ladies. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. What woman follows a man's instructions, doesn't question it, and doesn't complain? All of the time. Not some of the time, not when you feel like it, all of the time. Most women will say that's never going to happen, and that's why this dog is better. Just saying. So this is why they call him man's best friend. Like, move. That's it. That's all it took. And then he gonna get up out my seat and he gonna go over there. Yeah, that's right. Move. No, move. Bloop. There he is, off my lap. Now, we actually ran through all the comments. Hold on. Oh, Michael says, I just say I would love to talk, but I got to go to the bathroom, right? Yeah, but see, now I did not use that as an example because when you think about high school bullying, the worst place to go is an isolated area. If you are going to remove yourself from the conversation, you want to remove yourself from the conversation and then go to a public place, probably somewhere in the earshot or visibility of an adult, so that they will be reluctant to continue to haze you in front of that adult. So if you eat in the cafeteria, you eat in the cafeteria closer to where the teachers and principals can see it. If you're out there on the playground, you want to go and sit 20 feet away from whoever's watching the schoolyard, to have those individuals to leave you alone until you go back to class. If you remove yourself from a hallway conversation next to a locker into a bathroom where 5 girls can go to the bathroom and that's normal behavior. But if 5 girls go to the bathroom and 4 of them is bullying one of them, nobody's going to know what's going on until one of them screams. So you could end up in the bathroom and the verbal abuse that you would be dealing with by the locker room would turn into physical abuse in the bathroom. So you don't remove yourself from a bullying situation by going into an isolated area. You remove yourself from a bullying situation and go into a highly populated area, preferably the type of highly populated area where you can lose them in the crowd. Which is why I'm like, oh yeah, I got to go back to class, or I got something to do. I got to go to help the principal with whatever, and just remove yourself from that situation. And then if they invite you to something outside of school, don't go. You make sure that you make up an excuse that you've got chores, you've got babysitting, you've got obligations, this, that, and the third. You're not going, and then just don't go. You said, will he get his own leash? Nope. My dog does not get a leash. None of my dogs get leashes. My dogs are well trained. Like I said, they follow instructions better than women. So when I tell my dog, let's go, he goes. When I tell him don't go, he doesn't go. And he's at my side at all times. We don't fight about this. He sits in the car when it's time for us to go, and he waits for me to turn the car on and go somewhere. This is the type of scenario where there isn't much, like, we can have a whole conversation and he's right there, but at the same time I don't have to give him any instructions. I have well trained him with a large quantity of instructions, but I don't have to use most of it. Sometimes I take him somewhere just to remind him what those instructions are and kind of to give him a little bit more retraining in the park or something like that. But at the same time, all I have to do is see him walking a little bit faster than me and then be like, what you doing? And he'll turn around and come back. So he does not, none of my dogs have leashes, and they haven't had leashes for decades. I actually stopped using leashes in 2013, I believe. No. Actually, I've never used a leash, because now that I think about it, when I was 16, my dogs didn't have leashes, and when I was 20, my dogs didn't have leashes, and when I was 30, my dogs didn't have leashes, and over the past 15 years, my dogs haven't had leashes. So I've never had leashes. I've never had leashes. He's like, yo, they would have dragged me into the bathroom. Nah. Okay, so when I was a kid, if they would have thought dragging me into the bathroom was a solution to their hazing, I am not recommending this to the new generation because laws are different now. But when you and I went to school, Michael, when we went into the bathroom, that was the best place to go to resolve this situation in the most violent way possible. That way, when everybody walks out of the bathroom, clothes all ripped up, blood all over the place, we are not having this conversation. If not the bathroom, the locker room. That's where all hell breaks loose. because nobody's watching that location. There are no cameras in that area. So what happens is between me and y'all. I'm not going to say that y'all bullied me, and you're not going to say that I beat up 5 of y'all by myself. But if 5 of y'all got beat up by me at the same time, the teachers are going to start asking questions. Well, what are y'all fighting him by himself for in the first place? So you're beat up, my clothes is torn up, and nobody's going to talk about it so that nobody gets suspended. Back when we was growing up, 80s, 90s, bathrooms was the worst place to drag off a kid that was being bullied, because that's where the kid lashes out. Now, in 2025, everybody's crying on the corner, rocking back and forth, and committing suicide because they don't know how to fight. So don't go into the bathroom, because you might allow yourself to be bullied even worse in the bathroom. I'm not gonna tell you that. Don't go to the bathroom. Even if you have to go to the bathroom, don't go to the bathroom, because you're currently in the vicinity of your bully. Do not go directly to the bathroom from your bully, because they will follow you in there. You go from your bully to an adult. That prevents you from having the fight. On the other hand, whatever else you decide to do, meet them by the flagpole, catch them by the bus stop. The gym could, it depends on if your gym coach is in the gym, because we would get into fights in the gym. We would get in fights on the playground. We would get into fights in the bathrooms. And this is why I said you go to a highly populated area. You would go to a place like the cafeteria, the principal's office, your next class. So you're in the classroom with the teacher, and you can, even if it's not your class time, you go into that class and you just sit in the back of the class, and the teacher's like, oh, your class doesn't start for a little bit. And I know. And that's all you have to do, is quietly sit in the back and say, I know. And I guarantee you, your teacher will understand. They're not going to ask you to leave the room. And in between classes, they're going to come and ask you if everything's okay. And you're going to say it's not, but I can't talk about it right now because the other kids are coming into the room. And the teacher will make sure that they make time after school or before school or at some time during a break time to get debriefed from you what's going on, so that they can try to help you put a stop to it. But at the same time, if you relocate to a situation where you're less protected, you're not likely to be in a better situation than what you would have been if you would have walked away and went to a highly populated area where you have more witnesses and more opportunities to have somebody back you up on that. Because at the same time, you still have the hero complex, where if you're being outnumbered by a few people, there's this one outcast in the school that will beat them up for you, because they don't like seeing other people get bullied. And you're only going to accomplish that heroism from being in a group of people where somebody saw you being outnumbered by somebody else. So don't go anywhere by yourself. That's my recommendation. Michael says coping skills are poor. Well, the idea is that we don't cope in 2025. Coping skills is not just allowing it to happen, okay? Coping skills is trying to find a way around the problem without having to perform negatively in the situation. And a lot of times we have bad coping skills. We make bad decisions. We want to have mic drop moments like all of the women that's been on the show so far tonight, where they don't like the situation they're in, but instead of them trying to navigate through it in a positive fashion, they want to have a fight and have a breakup. The guy who doesn't have affection for his wife, he doesn't know what to do, but at least he's asking for help. He's not just saying, oh, I should just break up with my girlfriend because I'm not attracted to her. He's like, no, I don't know what to do. I'm not attracted to her, but I don't want to leave her, and I don't know how to change this. He's lost, and he admits that he's lost. Instead of women admitting the same thing, I'm lost. I don't know what to do here. If I messed up, I need to apologize for the fact that I messed up. But how do I change? Because I want to figure out how to change before I apologize. Because as we talked about a few days ago, redemption and apologies are one and the same. I am sorry and I apologize should only be projected when you recognize that you did something that you should not have done. You allowed something to happen that you should not have allowed to have happen. And you are going to proactively put forth the effort to behave differently, to perform differently, to be proactive in situations you were not active in when you should have been proactive. Your change is your redemption. So if you are not going to change, if you are not going to do better, apologizing to me does not fix the problem. And I'm sorry doesn't fix everything, because sometimes your actions or your lack of action could lead to the death of somebody. You cannot fix that with an I'm sorry. You just have to deal with it. But if your action or your lack of action leads to someone getting in trouble, somebody being pissed off at you, you can change the way you respond in situations like this, especially since situations like this happen repetitively until you change the style of life that you live. Then the redemption is, I'm never going to do that again, or I'm never going to allow that type of outcome to happen again. And you proactively provide that change. If you're not trying to change, your situation is always going to be the same. So the coping skills are excessively poor because you're allowing the bully to bully you. You're not standing up for yourself. You're allowing the bully to bully you, and you're not positioning yourself in a position to have individuals to back you up on the fact that you're not going to allow the bully to bully you. You are not telling somebody who can aid you in this situation, like getting an adult or an authoritarian figure that can put a stop to this scenario. You are just letting it happen, and you are helpless because you're outnumbered. But why are you outnumbered? Because if they bully you and you're not the only person that they bully, you can find 4 other people that they bully, and the 5 of y'all can go get the 5 of them, and y'all can square off and make it stop. You notice, look, like Michael said, remember to like and subscribe. You notice that when a bully bullies, the bullies bully people who will not defend themselves. But that one bully will bully multiple people. So if you find every person that bully bullies and y'all all band together and y'all go and get that bully, I can guarantee you that bully won't bully y'all no more. I know that was a tongue twister, but that's what it is. He said, what's the universal hand signal for help? Now, I know that they got this thing where you kind of like put the one thumb over here and you do this kind of situation like this, but everybody who knows that universal hand signal, like the question is, while you might know it, will you react to it? And then how do you react to it? Because kids don't get taught that a lot of the times. That's something that just started coming out recently, that universal hand signal for help. And then here's another thing, because we're dealing with a little girl here that is in need of help. Boys are not taught to ask for help. Boys are taught to fight for themselves. Fight off the bully, hit the biggest guy in the group, knock him down so that everybody else backs off. And you only hope that that's how it works. Because if you hit the biggest guy in the group and the other 3 or 4 kids hold you down and jump you, you about to get your behind one. You can only assume that if the biggest guy in the group is the only person that is acting ass and the other 4 people or 5 people in his entourage are spectators, that if you embarrass the biggest guy in the group, that everybody else is going to stop following his lead. You can only assume that that's going to happen. But if you got 4 bullies in a group where the guy bullying you is being peer pressured by other bullies to bully folks, and so that he can fit into that group, he's going to bully. If you hit the biggest bully in the room, the other 3 or 4 bullies are going to jump you, because the person in control is not the biggest person in the group. It's the person that's like, oh, you're going to let him talk to you like that? That's the person who need to be hit in the mouth. So you can't tell the boys. You can, but no boy is going to feel emotionally comfortable to do this to get help in a situation. A child would do this, male or female, when they're with an adult that they're afraid of. But no child is going to do this in front of another child to get other children to come and help them. And no child is going to want to help. No child's going to want to get involved. The whole reason why the stuff that's happening in Chicago is happening and the stuff that's happening in New York is happening is because we were taught from small to watch and don't get involved. So 2 people can systematically fuck over 35 people because it's 2 against 1 with each encounter. But if the 35 people that are being fucked over went after those 2 people would be outnumbered. You remember we talked about that squad car they had like four uh uh 4 ICE officers in that car, and they did a hit and run on a civilian. There were hundreds of people out in the street, right? Nobody exercising their Second Amendment. These 4 people came out there armed to the teeth, going after this one woman, and everybody watched. Yeah, you recorded it for posterity, where you can give, if you can find out what her name is, you can provide her with the video of what happened so that she can give it to the judge and get off of whatever charges that they gave her. But you're not stopping her from going to jail. You're not stopping her from being kidnapped by these people who just crashed into her car. But see, the Black Panther Party would have been standing out there 150 guns deep on them 4 folks, and that would not have happened. They would have let that woman go. Okay, and why is that? Because back in them days, the public protected itself from unethical police behavior. That's why there are self-defense laws against law enforcement. But those self-defense laws against law enforcement are directly contradicted by, if you do anything to the police, you will go to jail for it, and it will be a capital crime. So you will go to jail for it first, for defending yourself against a police officer, and then when the judge sees what they put you through, they're going to let you go. But it's still going to be on your record that you went square up with the police. So whenever the police pull you over, they know that you're going to square up with them, because you got the charges that say that you will square up with them. So they're not going to approach you after that in a calm and courteous fashion. They're going to come up hostile, because they're expecting you to come out hostile, because they're afraid of what you're going to do to them, which is why they are quick to draw their gun. They're quick to act an ass on you. So when we think about bullying, bullying is the exact same way. 3 to 5 people in a group that will pick on one person at a time, but they will pick on 5 or 7 different people. In order for you as a culture to have zero tolerance towards bullying, you have to match your bully with equal force. 100 police officers with 100 guns versus 1,000 American citizens with guns, those 100 police officers are going to stand down. Because even at 1-to-1, you still got 990 people still surviving out of that, and no police officers surviving. So in a situation where they're outnumbered, and that's the reason why law enforcement acts with overwhelming force, when they're outnumbered, they show you respect. But when you're outnumbered, they don't have to respect you. So when they believe that they would lose this situation, they stand down. So standing out there with the camera, oh yeah, that's a good idea. But if there's 52 officers out there with a firearm, there should be 250 people out there with a firearm. Then y'all should be able to behave appropriately. I ain't telling y'all to be out there sniping folks, but at the same time, if it turned into a civil war, then the president would change the way he's got these people out here behaving. It ain't turning into a civil war yet, because don't nobody exercise their Second Amendment rights. But you got to think about who child getting kidnapped and put into a CIA black site because the police did something wrong. That woman who got hit in that car crash, who mama was that? Whose sister was that got kidnapped on her way to work because they crashed her car? Then the funny thing is that they're gonna try to make it seem like she was part of a riot. They're gonna give her riot style charges, make it seem like her car crashed into their car as part of the riot, so that they don't have to pay for the insurance claim because they hit her car. See what I'm saying? See how that works? And all of that is because they made a mistake. Instead of them getting out of the car, walking up to the woman without pointing guns at her, ask her if she was okay, apologize for the situation, and try to exchange it. Give them a business card, call my HR, and they'll deal with this. I gotta go because we're in the middle of a riot kind of situation. And something they should have called it in. They should not have snatched that woman out that car. But the fact is that we don't behave right. We don't behave right. So even without firearms, we throwing stuff at the wrong first and burning shit down and everything like that. But again, less than 1% of the population of any city is law enforcement. So if law enforcement is acting bad for any reason, they're outnumbered 100 to 1, 1,000 to 1. So if everybody band together and met them with the same Second Amendment level that they had, I can guarantee you that they would get their act together. Yeah, the Black Panther Party was from 1990, from 1970 to 1980. In 1966, the Black Panthers were formed. Yeah, that's true. But he said the purpose was to free the kids and civil rights. But think about this, Michael. ICE is snatching up Americans under the deportation law. ICE is terrorizing minority neighborhoods. They're not even snatching up immigrants. They're snatching up Americans. That's why I brought up the Black Panther Party, because this is a civil rights violation that you're dealing with. And while the purpose was feeding the kids and civil rights, the purpose now would be civil rights, protecting people from civil rights. They need to be able to clearly identify their target and execute whatever seizure warrant that they have to execute without having to cause harm to the general population. When they are attacking the general population, they need to be court-martialed, because these are military officers, not cops. These are military officers. These are CIA agents. They should be court-martialed for their behavior. Police officers should not be allowed to misbehave in the streets because their bad decision, even if they're a good cop, even if they're a good soldier, their bad decision can destroy our confidence in our military and our law enforcement. They have to be held to a higher level of responsibility. Anyone with a firearm has to be held to a higher level of responsibility. When we talked about the gun laws one time before, we were talking about back when they were trying to make the gun laws stricter. And I was saying back then, making gun laws stricter is not going to help people who follow the gun laws. It's going to make it harder for them to follow the gun laws. People who don't follow the laws are not going to follow stricter gun laws. What you need to do, instead of making stricter gun laws, you need to make more stricter penalties for violating the gun laws that already exist. If your firearm is involved in a crime, the same way if your car is involved with a crime, you are an accomplice. Until you can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you had nothing to do with that, you are an accomplice. So if your car got stolen and you didn't report it, you gave your car away. If your gun got took by a family member in your house, you gave your gun away. You should never have a school shooting. You should never have a presidential assassination attempt with your firearm and your relative. That makes you an accomplice, because you are supposed to keep your firearm secured. If your firearms are not secured, you are part of the problem. So you're going to catch a charge for not securing your firearms, and they're going to catch a charge for using your firearms. That's how these things should work. It's not about going through red tape to go and buy one. It's not about having feds to come knock on your door and make sure that you've got a lock on your shit. It's about, if your shit come up missing, that they hold you responsible for it. You got kids in the house, you teach them gun safety. You teach them, don't mess with my boomstick. And if you catch them sniffing your boomstick, you beat that ass. Because if it goes off and somebody gets hurt, the owner of the gun is going to prison for that, because that was negligence the way that firearm was stored. That was negligence the way that firearm was handled. So there's a right and a wrong way for everything. Right now, we're doing it the wrong way. If we start finding a better way to do things, we will start getting better outcomes, which is one of the reasons why here on This and That, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between, I give you guys unorthodox ways to do things better, different even, than the way things have always been. Because just because that's the way they've always done it in the past does not mean that it's going to work with us right now in 2025. But what it does mean is that if we start trying new things, we will start getting new outcomes, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a new result. Doing something different will get you new results. So if what we've been doing before wasn't working, something new will give us a new result. Here on This and That, I give you guys the information to help you guys become successful, highly successful, high-value men, highly successful, high-value women. While it's a male-driven podcast from the male's perspective, the information that I provide to the men, ladies, y'all can use this information for yourselves. Y'all can take the stock information, invest it with your money, and make yourselves more financially successful. For the the job stuff. Y'all can do better with the job information than what the men can, because the affirmative action laws for women still exist, even though affirmative action laws for black men do not exist anymore. The way you treat people, the way you allow people to treat you, this is uniformed information. You can get this information out of Corinthians, you can get it out of the Quran, or you can come and get it from the show. Better ways to stand on your non-negotiable expectations for behavior while still compromising towards somebody else's expectations for behavior. The negotiation is who's going to treat who in what way. But the non-negotiable part is I am not going to allow you to mistreat me just so that you can stay with me. I'm not going to allow you to mistreat me just so that I'm not alone. I'm not going to allow you to mistreat me just so that I got friends. That's not how we're supposed to live life. If somebody don't treat you the way you want to be treated, don't fuck with them no more. You can communicate with them that you would prefer for them to change, but if they don't change, then you need to change them out. If your car don't run right, do you keep it? You're going to try to fix it, but after a while, you're going to get tired of fixing that bitch. You're going to trade it in, you're going to sell it, you're going to junk it, you're going to buy you something else. You don't stick with nothing that does not work with you. You don't stick with a relationship that does not work with you. You don't stick with family that does not work with you. You got friends that are closer to you right now than your family will ever be, because your friends will cooperate with you more than your family will. But that doesn't mean that you don't stop trying. You could reach out to your family at least once a year and see if you can fix that relationship to a magnitude where y'all are at least on communicating terms. Be able to FaceTime each other once a month. But if you dwell on the past, if you dwell on hatred, if you dwell on petty behavior, and you continue to badger and bitch about shit that is beyond your control, that is already in the past, is done and over with, and the other person cannot do any better from the past action, the only thing they can do is do better for future actions. You cannot hang somebody for the past in the present. If they're still doing it, yes. But whatever they did in the past, that's in the past. What you're doing right now, what they're doing right now, that's what's important. And if they trying, you got to give them a chance. If they ain't trying, you let them go. Your boss will treat you the same way. Even if you was a fuck up 5 years ago, you're doing a good job right now, you deserve a promotion. You understand? But at the same time, you can sabotage a good thing because you want to have that mic drop moment. You want to tell them off. You want to tell them like it is. You want to put them in their place. You want to stroke your petty ego, and that's what it is. It's a petty ego. It's a petty ego, because the turn the other cheek metaphor is not just about letting them hit you on both sides of the face. The turn the other cheek sometimes is to look away from this situation and focus on something else and let that negative shit go. Just let it go. Don't react to it. Don't respond to it. Don't engage it at all. Matter of fact, I had a situation earlier this week. I was backing up out of a parking lot, and a vehicle parked their car directly behind my car. So I'm backing up. They seen me backing up. I had been backing up while they were zooming into the parking lot, and they parked right behind my car. If I would not have seen them, I would have hit their vehicle. And if I would have backed up any faster, they would have hit the back of my, like the whole rear passenger side door. They would have folded up my vehicle. But because I seen them looking like they weren't going to slow down, I slowed down, and they right behind me. I could have got out. I could have made a scene. I could have sat there and waited till they got out to make them feel bad about the fact that they blocked me in. But I did what I had to do to go over the curb and go on around and go on about my day and let that shit go. I could have got out the car and went in the store and made them move their car. I mean, I'm strapped to the nines. I could have walked in there like Terminator, you need to move your vehicle. And they would have been intimidated enough to move it, but why do that? The fact is that I could just let the shit go and go on about my day. Because what would I benefit by making them respect me more in a situation where they clearly have no respect for me or the society that they're in? Now, what's going to happen is they're going to be in the same type of situation. They're going to be the one pissed off. blowing a horn, cussing at the other person, fighting over a gas pump. My stress is not with that. I'm all focusing on something else. So what we have to remember, what we have to do going forward, ladies, gentlemen, is we have to prioritize finding a better way for social interaction. We have to find a better way for communication. We have to find a better way to address the problems we have in our lives, to address the relationships we maintain in our lives, to identify the value in the relationships that we maintain in our lives. What is draining us versus what is empowering us? And then we have to do better. I tell y'all just about every week, at least once a week, that you need to stop doing whatever the fuck you was doing in 2024. And you need to start finding new things that you are going to stick with in 2026. Whatever wasn't working for you in 24, you are no longer doing in 25, and whatever's not working for you in 25, you will not be doing in 26. You have to do better. Because if you're in the same rut in 25 that you was in 2020, if you're in the same rut in 25 that you was before the pandemic, if you are post-pandemic problems that are pre-pandemic problems, you fucking up your own life. You can't blame society because you don't want to do better. You cannot blame your neighborhood. You cannot blame your ex. You cannot blame your current partner because you don't want to do better. You are the primary person that controls the shit that happens to you. And I tell y'all all the time that y'all have this first person accountability because you're responsible for the decisions that you make. You're responsible for the decisions that you don't make. You're responsible for the decisions that impact the people around you. And you are also responsible for the decisions that they make that impact you. And if you are not proactively putting a stop to the negativity in your life, if you are not proactively putting a stop to the negative activity in your presence, you are failing yourself. If you in Chicago and you out there with one of your friends and they out there enjoying the riot, throwing shit and everything like that, and you get pepper sprayed, your ass should not have been out there. You understand me? Even the woman that was out there with the thing, she should not have been in that car crash. But how many people are being ran into by the police? You seen that car and it broadsided your car because you did not stop when it was doing a U-turn in the street. Now, I don't know why you're driving through the riot in the first place, but your ass should not have been out there. So what happened to you was wrong. They should not have did what they did, but you should not have been out there. So we have to remember first person accountability. Why are you in the negative situations that you're in your life? Because you allowed certain things to happen until you got put in a situation that was beyond your control. That is why you're in certain situations. And then the consequences of these situations outlast the situation itself. You might be in a bad situation for 10, 15 minutes. You might be in a bad situation for 30, 45 seconds. You might be in a bad situation for an hour because you're stuck in traffic. But the decision that you make might be a 10-year sentence. The decision that you make might be a 25-year sentence. The decision that you make might take you half your life to recover from. We have to make better decisions. As adults, we should have better forethought than what we did when we was children. You understand me? And if we don't start utilizing that, 25, 35, 45, we don't start utilizing that, we're not going to make it to Michael's age at 70 years old, 72 years old. Happy birthday, Michael. We're not going to make it there. But we will make it there if we start doing better. We start making some changes. We start making some improvement. But that's what we have to do. We have to start looking for improvement. Everywhere, in our business life, in our personal life, everywhere. Anything that negatively impacts our money, we need to make a different decision that does not negatively impact our money. And we need to start proactively working towards early retirement, proactively working towards spending more time with our family, our friends, our network, our loved ones. We need to be able to proactively work towards finding outer peace as well as inner peace. Because yeah, you can meditate and yoga for 15 fucking hours and have the best inner peace in the world and still be pissed off to high heaven because the shit that is happening outside of your body is getting on your damn nerves. So what you got to do is you have to fix your outer peace so that your environment is peaceful, so that your inner peace can actually benefit you. Until then, ladies, I'm going to say, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. Now, we're going to try to start closer to 10 o'clock tomorrow, so we're probably going to be about 5 minutes late, 5 to 10. But if we start on time, we start on time. We're going to be about 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 10 o'clock Central Time. So thank you guys for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Chase validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt upon the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher, constantly making my own climb. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command.